Good morning. This is Cindy coming again at you from the Redlands Prayer Furnace, and I had a little connection problem. It looks like I'm live now. It had started to connect before and then disconnected, but anyway, doing something just a little different this morning. I have been doing the series in Philippians, a few minutes in Philippians, and got through 11 times, taking a little piece of that. And just this last couple of weeks, last week, I didn't come on live at all. And then this week I felt the need to share something different. And really that is an object lesson of the topic that I want to talk about, which is the need in this season to stay fluid, flexible, and free. Can you tell I like alliterations? Anyway, several weeks ago, I started this whole journey through Philippians, basically the Lord leading me to be faithful in using my voice. And a book of the Bible was an easy way for me to do that. I love Philippians. Felt like it is so applicable to the time right now. Oh, hi, Pam. Good to see you. It was good to see you this week. Anyway, I usually say this, but I don't usually respond to comments and stuff while I'm talking just because I get distracted so easily. Anyway, back to starting Philippians. And so anyway, that was working really well. And then several weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I had a week where I just couldn't get it together. And I wanted to just no-show so badly. But the Lord really convicted me to press on. In fact, that part of the scripture, I called it, whatever it takes, because that's what Paul said, whatever it takes, I'm going to keep pressing through to share the gospel. And so that was my attitude this last week. I had this horrid allergy headache, sinus headache, and my brain was like literal mush. But I'm like, gotta press through. And the Lord's like, just chillax. And the same God who just a couple weeks before convicted me and exhorted me to keep going was now saying, hey, give this one to me. It's okay. Take the week off. And I'm like, no, I've got to press through. And so even though I couldn't put two sentences together to put something on Facebook, which I usually do the night before, I thought, okay, I'm just not going to do that. But if I wake up in the morning and I'm good, I can still go. Well, I woke up in the morning and my head was fine. I didn't have a headache, but I just felt the voice. I say I felt the voice of the Lord, and often that's what I do. I feel Him leading me to something rather than hearing specific words. But I just sensed Him saying, no, let go this week. So I did. The next day, which was Friday, I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about how in this season it is so incredibly important to stay fluid. And to me, fluid is a little different than flexible. When you're fluid, water just keeps flowing all around obstacles. If it has any space at all, it just keeps moving. And it's like you don't spend time dwelling on, well, that didn't make sense. You just keep flowing. You keep flowing where the river leads. And that was a really important object lesson for me, because the very next day I was set to get on a plane to go to DC. We got as far as Phoenix and missed our connecting flight due to our original flight being delayed. And there's a whole longer story to all of that. But I was just really sure, we were both really sure, oh no, because there were so many convincing signs and confirmations that we were supposed to be at this thing. And we were going to go to the Let Us Worship event on the mall. And we're really excited, repping Southern California, yay! Although a lot of other people were too. But anyway, we couldn't make it happen. When we got stuck, there was just no way to get there. And even we checked all the airports except Baltimore. And when we realized about Baltimore, we checked it and realized that a flight had left literally 10 minutes earlier that would have gotten us there in time. All the others were like flying through the night and getting there too late anyway and blah, blah, blah. And when we realized that, we'd been sitting there for 45 minutes, we could have made it. When we realized that we missed that flight, it's like, okay, God, if you wanted us there, we could have gotten there. But it was perplexing. It wasn't just disappointing, it was perplexing, because then it was like, okay, we found a flight home. No harm, no foul. I've had worse days. I've had worse travel days, got to hang out with a friend. There were all these little redemptive things, and that's great. But the perplexity is, God, did I miss you? Did I not hear you? And the next morning, I felt the Lord giving me Isaiah 64, 4 and 5, which I'm going to read in a minute. But I just felt him saying, be at peace. You're not going to miss a thing. Just flow with the river. And so I remembered my conversation I'd had with a friend, the night before. We just got to stay fluid. This is a unique moment in history. And I really think the biggest thing God is doing in us is expanding and stretching our capacity to be fluid and flexible. Now, flexible is a little different than fluid. Flexible sometimes requires a little pressure to bend when you're in a position that is no longer sustainable. And so we need both. And when we remain fluid and flexible, that's when we can walk in freedom. And I vividly remember, it's been nearly 5 years now. I left my full-time job, and it's been quite the adventure since then. But when I left, the unmistakable call of God was in the Gospels. I was reading the Gospel accounts of when he called his disciples. He didn't give them a plan. He didn't tell them where they were going. He just said, "Follow me." And I knew that was my invitation to follow him, to just follow. It sounds so simple. It is simple until we make it complicated. But it costs everything, because it costs giving up our right to understand. And we have to remain fluid and flexible to follow in freedom. And that's been the lesson for me these last 5 years. And can I just tell you that during this pandemic time where it seems like everybody's had to be fluid and flexible, it really hasn't fazed me a lot, because I've had to live in that state for so long that I'm a little more used to it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have rough edges, because let me tell you, at the airport the other day, definitely, I always talk about Romans 8:29. It's not just the good thing God causes to work together out for those that love him, but it's the good thing is that we are conformed to the image of Christ. And let's just say there were some rough edges in my character that needed to be conformed to the image of Christ. So yeah, there's that. So I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is my reaction these days is simply to say, here I am, Jesus. What do you want to do? There's a meditation that John Piper has, a little app. It's called Pause. And the first line of all these meditations is the same. It's, Jesus, I give everyone and everything to you. And I can't tell you how often, I don't use the app very often anymore, but I do use that one line where I just step back and say, Jesus, I can't control this. I give everyone and everything to you. And I can't tell you how much peace that gives me. Now, I said that, he gave me, after our missed flight to DC, that he gave me Isaiah 64, 3 and 4. I'm going to read that. When you came down long ago, you did awesome deeds beyond our highest expectation. And oh, how the mountains quaked. For since the world began, no ear has heard and no eye has seen a God like you, who works for those who wait for him. And beloved, trust is about waiting, and waiting is about trust. And we wait because we have an expectation that God will do what he said he will do, and that often he will do more. Also this week, I read this quote that just really spoke to my heart. I don't even know who the author is, but this is the quote. Many disappointments, anxieties, and frustrations begin with our habit of overestimating what God will do in the short run and underestimating what God will do in the long run. He will act for those who wait for him. And there's a lot of things a lot of us are waiting on right now. And, what are they calling it? Pandemic fatigue or something like that. And yeah, there's fatigue about a whole bunch of things right now. And it's legit. But Jesus, I give everyone and everything to you. And I choose to remain fluid and flexible and free and simply follow you. See, that's the thing. He will act for those who wait for him. Now, do I have a big story to wrap up with a nice tidy bow why we missed our plane on Saturday? No, don't. I mean, there were some things that it was nice that I was here for, but they don't explain the 3 texts I got, you need to be at this thing, and, so many other things that happened. But I choose to trust him, and I choose to believe him that I didn't miss a thing. And many of us are having to lay down things over and over again in this season and remain fluid and flexible and free. And it's not always fun, but it is rewarding. God acts for those who wait for him. So anyway, I know that's just a little snippet. I do fully intend to go back to Philippians, at least at this point, unless the Lord tells me otherwise. I just don't know when it's going to be, because I am committed to flowing with the river and not forcing it into the box of what I understood yesterday, because yesterday was yesterday, today is today, and he may move in an entirely different way today than what you expected him to move in yesterday. So anyway, love you guys. I appreciate those of you who follow along. And if there's comments or anything, I will get to them later. I didn't really wait for anybody to jump on, so I can't even actually see. Looks like there's a few people watching. So anyway, hi to those who are. And, I did want to mention, like I said, I'm here in the Redlands Prayer Furnace. We are going to be having a night of worship this coming Friday, which is tomorrow, about 7 p.m. And so, if you're local, come on down. If you don't know where we are, send me a message and I'll help you find us, okay? Blessings. Bye.